The brutal and cruel attack with Spidrax. These are the Sectaurs, the warriors of Symbion.
Hey everybody, the Freelance are back again to do another showcase for Freelance for you guys, and as you can see from the title and on my hand, I'm doing the final Sectaurs figure in my collection. This is General Spidrax and his telebonded steed, Spiderflyer. Spidrax, per his name, is the general and the head of the armies of the Dark Domain. Now, in the comic books, he's in servitude to the Dark Empress. However, he's not content to be second bananas. He wants to find the hive so that he can use its power once he finds out that it exists, of course. He wants to use it to take over the Dark Domain and Symbion itself. He's not content with the little truces and the peace talk. He wants everything. He wants all that he can get a hold of.
Soon Mator's scroll map will be yours, General Spidrax. And that will lead you to the hive of the ancients. And with the hive of the ancients, I will rule Symbion.
And as far as 80s villains go, he's fantastic. He wasn't like your Megatron, your Shredders, certainly not Skeletor or Hordak, anybody like that. He wasn't some bumbling idiot. He didn't do anything for comedic value. He didn't, stumble along and make stupid mistakes. Anytime he would make a mistake, it was something that if anyone else had done it, they would have figured, yeah, this is a pretty airtight idea. But then, of course, the heroes would triumph and, their battle would continue to rage on.
Kill them!
Not if I can help it! Zack, get out!
The map! Don't let them escape!
But what was great about him was how relentless he was. He was not the type to retreat at all. He would stay. Even if it looked like he was losing, he'd stick around anyway. He was in it till death. He wasn't playing around.
Retreat! Retreat! No! Cowards! Stand and fight!
And it just made his character absolutely fantastic, and it made him a truly terrifying villain. Albeit the very short amount of time we got to actually see his villainy in action. And it's a real disappointment that more people don't know this villain. You talk to them about 80s villains, they think of Skeletor, Shredder, characters like that, who you're like, they really weren't that great. Him? He was somebody you could really be scared of. He was somebody you really didn't want to mess with. And they molded that fantastically into the toy. You see this, wrathful, menacing look on his face. And even his bug, it's this ugly, nasty spider with wings. But I really love these two, and especially Spiderflyer, because like Dragonflyer, his wings flap. Now, unfortunately, this one doesn't. I've tried batteries in all three of the ones I own, and none of them work. The motors have gone out, or whatever causes them to go. It's a real disappointment, because I would really like to show you guys what that looks like. But I can't. Thankfully, I do have wings for him at all. That's another thing that's hard to find. This is the only one that has wings. The other two, they don't. But what I love the most is the glove. Just like I expressed before about Battle Beetle and Dragonflyer, Their gloves, it's just a silk glove. That's it. This is the only part you get. But him and Tranquilus, when they add the fur, it just adds this. It really feels like it should be part of the figure. When you look at Spiderflyer and you look at Battlebeetle, it's a bug with a glove underneath it. That's exactly what it looks like. It just doesn't feel quite right. These guys, it just feels nice. And it's also pretty toasty inside. This is great to wear when it's really cold out. You look like a lunatic, but if it's cold outside or, chilly weather, this will keep you good and warm for a while. Just a little side note there. Now, the figure of Spidrax himself, unfortunately, I am missing many of his accessories. I am going to remedy that very soon, but as of right now, I don't have everything. I love the way that this figure looks. It's his color scheme. The transitions from purple to black, and it's this dark, drab purple, a plum color almost. And then the great red accents around his ankles and his wrists here. Now, I do have his gun, as you can see, and just like I've pointed out before, great detailing in the gun. It really looks nice. His primary weapon, though, was normally a whip.
Prince of the Burning Realm, Dargon!
And I love that. I thought that was a great weapon for him, because there's something about whips. They've got enough distance to them. It almost doesn't feel, I guess you'd say, honorable to use one. You don't get as close to somebody as you do with a sword. But it's not as cheap as using a gun. And a whip itself, it just gives off this idea of, a bondage and punishment and torture. It's not really a device to kill anybody with, but it is a device to inflict massive amounts of pain. And he was all about that. He reveled in people's misery and suffering. Which, again, just made him a great, great villain. And, like I say, that's just based around his weapon. That just gives you insight into his personality. Unlike, he had the most unique set of legs among all the Sectaurs. He's the only one that looked like this and had all of this extra molding in his legs and all these extra details that were basically armor. Of course, just like all of them, had great detail, or not great detailing, great articulation in his legs. Something you couldn't do with most toys in the 80s. Still no articulations in the arms, but still more great details in these gauntlet. As I've shown you already, just this great head. I mean, this is rubber. All this is rubber. But for being rubber, they did a great amount of work to it. Of course, he's still got that great ripped physique that just about every toy back then always had. But I honestly have to say, even though Skulk will forever be my favorite, he's definitely a close second as far as how the toys look. I just think he's a great, great looking figure. And again, with the fantastic color scheme, more than worth adding to your collection. And then, of course, if you can find, Spiderflyer and just complete the whole thing, you're just all that much better off. But that's it. Long and short of it, that's all I have to say. I can sing nothing but praises about these figures. I really have yet to have one of them I don't like on some level or another. Anyhow, this has been the Freelancer and General Spidrax and Spiderflyer, and hope you guys have enjoyed this. And coming up next is the Hive. So I've got the footage already recorded. I just need to edit it together and get that in the can, and then we'll be set. So expect that very soon. And Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.